Fit for Life Radio, episode number 100, and I just looked.
You just looked. There's
is
no
it 67 or is it 76?
There's no excuse. I think it's 76.
176.
That's my whole life right there.
We're going to how to lose your first 10 pounds. And the reality is this could be used to lose 1 pound,
100 pounds.
100 pounds. Maybe we'll probably actually do a different one on how to lose your last 10 pounds.
Because that is a little different. It's a little
It's
harder.
going to be a little different. So, but if you're someone who, another thing to think too is a lot of people have no problem losing 10 pounds. It's keeping it off. So this is also going to address that. So if you're someone who's like, man, I need to lose some weight, here is our plan for how we would lose our first 10 pounds if we wanted to start. So
Let's break it down.
in the world of crash diets, tons of cardio, massive restriction, we want to walk you through a sustainable approach. This approach also is not focused on just losing 10 pounds, but on losing 10 pounds of fat you can keep off.
Because that's a big difference.
And like we've said before, losing 10 pounds of fat is losing 10 pounds of weight, but losing 10 pounds of weight does not necessarily mean losing 10 pounds of fat.
Negative.
So you need to be focusing on the right habits that help increase your odds of sustainability so that you actually feel better when you're losing this 10 pounds and you can keep it off. And the problem is most kind of guides or plans to lose weight are extreme approaches that focus on speed.
Is doing this as fast as possible, and you generally there's going to be a negative to that, which a lot of times is losing some muscle mass, and not many people are for the better because of that long term.
Yep. And if there's one takeaway we want you to have, it's that 10 pounds of fat loss you can keep off is better than 10 pounds lost as fast as possible.
Yeah. Always. That long run's always going to win out when that's what your sight is set on.
Yep. So we're not going to be laying down any quick fixes for you.
Nah, this isn't like how to lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not what we're laying out. Though you
maybe
come close.
We'll break it down,
but it's not always the case.
And the reality is most people want to lose it in 1 week or 3 days or whatever.
Yep, and it's just it ain't happening.
So yeah, ultimately, the strategies we're going to share are going to help you get lasting fat loss, and realize that lasting fat loss is going to mean more energy and vigor, a smaller waist measurement, more mobility and ease of movement, improved blood work and health markers. And this is what sets fat loss apart from just if we do these quick fixes where we just lose weight, which we'll kind of break down what a lot of that can be.
Yeah.
But when you truly lose body fat, you can expect some of these benefits, right?
And I mean, usually everything just feels better when you hit that point.
And let's roll. So step 1, you got to get your mindset right. We've touched on this a little already, but we'll dive in. Fat loss, not weight loss. That's what we want to think. So how to lose your first 10 pounds. Let's start with getting our mind right. We want to lose 10 pounds of fat, not weight. This is important to understand because a common scenario is, I want to lose 10 pounds. Let me go do a ton of cardio and some crazy detox, limited food ordeal.
Yeah, where you're basically not eating anything and just hoping all this just shreds right off of you.
And what happens is, it's actually not that crazy to do something like that and lose 10 pounds in a week, because do a ton of cardio, we're going to be sweating a bunch, we're not consuming food, or we're just doing some like detoxing that makes us use the bathroom and we're not then replacing. So we're losing all these fluids.
Cleared out.
By not eating food, we're not eating carbohydrates, so we start to lose stored glycogen, which comes with, like, we store water with glycogen inside our muscles. This is a good thing, but we lose that. Your body can store up to 4 pounds. Then you're also sweating fluid out that
And
way.
you can lose quite a bit that way too.
Then since you're not eating, there's not food in your stomach digesting.
There's usually something circulating, digesting at most points in time. So.
There's also then stuff in your intestines, right? And we're eating daily, so there's always food in this process going on. But right there, you could lose 4 pounds of water weight, 4 pounds of stomach and digestion, food happenings. And then maybe 1 pound of fat, but then also, hey, we're like doing a ton of cardio, crash dieting. You could lose a pound of muscle. Right? So
there's your 10 pounds.
There's your 10 pounds. But the reality is you're going to feel like crap. And the moment you return to normalcy,
coming back, baby.
You're going to gain it all back. Now, the reality is you're not necessarily gaining back a bunch of body fat. You're gaining back the 4 pounds of water weight you should have on you.
And then when you eat food, all that food's going to be circulating through you. So it's just back to normal, basically.
And again, that's normal. And the reality is what we're after is that we just want to actually keep all that. That's good stuff, and let's lose that pound of fat.
Yeah, let's take that pound and only that pound for that week and be cool.
Yep.
And then stack those up.
And that is the mindset. You got to turn that corner and think like that.
It's hard. It's hard to not want everything immediately.
Yeah. So
we all do.
Yeah. So we know, okay, I shouldn't just do endless bouts of cardio. I shouldn't do a tea detox. I shouldn't fast for 7 days in a row. What should I do? And we'll be diving into these deeper, but essentially the habits that you need to employ are resistance training.
Keep that muscle.
Yep. This ensures we keep the muscle. Eating protein and fiber-based meals. This means we're actually getting nutrition we need. And these things happen to help us feel more satiated. So they help the process. And we're actually thriving, not just surviving. And then walking. And walking's more relief stress, some heart health, little extra calorie burn. But it's not like, hey, I'm trying to walk and turn this into something vigorous.
Yeah,
right?
you're not like burning 2,000 calories going for a walk.
The main thing we're after is this restorative, stress relieving activity.
Just moving your body.
Yeah, to balance out our stressful lives.
Yep.
All right, so we got that established. Step 1, mindset, fat loss, not weight loss. Step 2, weigh yourself. Now you're either like turning off this podcast now because that makes you feel some kind of way.
Yeah, if that made your heart rate go up, then this might be for you though.
Yeah, and look, it's a nuanced topic.
Yeah.
And look, when we're talking about this is for a majority of people, right? It's not everyone. We're talking in bulk here. But for one, if you want to lose 10 pounds, you got to weigh yourself. What gets measured gets managed, right? We also recommend you want to weigh in daily. The problem with weighing in like randomly or once a week,
like every Saturday,
is our weight naturally fluctuates. So what happens, you could actually be making progress,
doing everything right,
losing weight, and then you have a meal or a day that's higher in sodium or just something that's normal and fine.
So you're a little heavier.
Yeah, and it's going to make your weight go up. But what if it's on that day, the only day you weigh in, and then the scale's showing you went up 2 pounds, when in reality, you're actually down a pound.
Yeah, your weight's trending down if you had looked at all of the other days.
Mm-hmm. And then you may throw your hands in the air and quit.
Yeah,
right?
and then you're frustrated. When you're actually, had you had all of those other data points, you'd be celebrating that, like, man, like, this is actually going really well. I'm moving down. Yeah. And that, I think, ends up being a point of frustration for a lot of people, is that they see that one day and they're like, well, I'm doing everything right and I'm not getting any progress, so why am I even doing this?
Yep. So the two main reasons are, one, we're exposing ourselves to it every day. It gives us practice to seeing the number as data and taking the emotion out of it. And again, that's not going to be easy for some people. It may not even be the right way, depending on how deep-seated maybe some of these emotions are. But ultimately, doing it every day helps you see it. I mean, you could say the same for a lot. Say you struggle with debt. The reality is you're spending more money than you make. Well, if you start tracking your spending every day, and no one likes to go in their bank account and look and see.
Yeah,
it kind of stings a little, but if we do it every day, slowly but surely, the emotion gets taken out of it, and we see it for the data it is, and then we can use that.
Yep.
Same thing with the weight. The second reason is it's going to give us more accurate data, point blank, right? So you weigh in every day for 7 days. Add up all those weigh-ins, divide by 7. This is going to give you your weekly average. This is the number then that you really put on a pedestal or whatever you want to say, and then track. So then you're going to weigh in the next 7 days. And again, just put in the data in, don't think twice. Then after those 7 days, same thing, add them up, take that weekly average, compare it to, then you're comparing it to the past weekly average.
String them along.
So, string them along, those 7-day weekly averages. That is the way, right? So that's step 2.
Weigh yourself.
Weigh yourself. Bonus, once you reach your goal, daily weigh-ins is a simple way, an effective way, and proven to help maintain things. Mm-hmm. Normally, when we gain 20 pounds over 6 years,
we stop looking.
I've never met anyone that was weighing in daily.
Yeah, most people are like, oh man,
and gained 30 pounds.
After 2 years, I finally stepped on the scale and I was up 30, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
It's because they were not, the blinders were on. They didn't,
out of sight.
We kind of don't want to know.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. And when we weigh in, the reality is, we know.
Yeah.
We kind of know the reasons that this is happening. So if it gives us a little check
I think
in.
it makes us face them a little bit more directly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, hey, you know better than this, or your goal is to maintain, so it helps us stay on track a whole lot better.
So there's that. All right, step 3, your habits. So what does this plan entail? Lose your first 10 pounds. What am I actually doing now? Okay, I got my mind right. I weighed in. What's the plan? So you want to establish 2 resistance training workouts a week, right? This could be with a trainer. It could be at a training gym that's strength focused, resistance training focused, regular gym, your Planet Fitness, your One Life, Globo type gyms.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late. So having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's 1 scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
Where, it can be as simple as all those gyms have little weight machine circuit, and you go do 2 sets of 6 to 15 reps on each one, so you're hitting your whole body. Essentially, and this is different for everyone, you have to figure it out for yourself, but what does that look like? If you have no experience, maybe you need stuff. If you need accountability and coaching, that's where the training gyms and trainers can come in. Maybe you can go do it on your own. Great, Planet Fitness is $10 a month, right? Or hey, get some dumbbells for your house and do some dumbbell and use your body weight for workouts. Essentially, in some shape or form, try to establish 2 full body resistance training workouts a week.
That's
all right?
it.
And they should take anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. So you're looking at 1 to 2 hours a week. This is going to ensure, hey, I'm using my muscles. It makes it very likely that you're going to keep your lean muscle. Like we said, that's something you don't want to lose, right? So it's another strong step towards ensuring the weight we do lose is fat. Get your food portions right, okay? So obviously diet is going to be where most of the effort needs to go.
Yeah.
Let's even just get walking out the way so we can dig in on the nutrition side of things. So a daily walk.
Yep.
We like saying, hey, just plan. Just write down you're just going to go for a 5-minute walk, right? A lot of times if you say I'm going to do 45 minutes, it's easy to talk yourself out of it.
45 minutes, yeah, that's really easy on a long day to be like, I'm not doing that.
Yep. But you could say 5.
Fiver.
That gets you out the door.
It's going to turn into a 10-minute more likely
Yeah.
than not, or more.
Or 20 or maybe 40, right?
Yep.
Just it gets you going. And if it's only a 5, great. You're out. There's benefits
You
to
still
that.
hit the habit of going for your walk for 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
there's health benefits to that.
All right, so you got your lift, your 2 resistance training workouts,
Little
your
daily
walk. Then got to get the food right. And look, this isn't simple either. This isn't this podcast. You know, you can go back, we dive in. Food, it's going to be nuanced, right?
There's a lot to it.
There's no perfect. Yeah, hey, you're going to have to maybe start grocery shopping. You might have to learn how to cook. There's so much that goes into it, right? You're going to have to figure that out a little bit for yourself. But here's the thing. We know the right things, right? So but it's nice to have a starting point.
Yeah.
It's nice to have framework. We recommend some form of awareness. This could be tracking calories. It could be as simple as keeping a food journal or a photo food journal. And look, you don't even need to have a calorie goal. Nothing. You literally just start taking pictures or just writing down everything you're eating.
So that you're aware of what is going into your body. That's it.
And here's the thing. You're going to naturally, most people with just that will start making better decisions. Like if you have to write down, I had 17 handfuls of Fritos.
Yeah, you're going to be like, damn.
You already wrote down that you had 6. You'll probably stop and maybe never make it to that 7th and therefore 15th handful. You're bringing awareness. You end up eating less because of this, right? Also, if you end up working with a coach or a friend, it's helpful to have some data.
Yeah, so that that person knows, what should we do going forward, what will help you, all of that.
Yeah. And then from there, so a little even more specific. And again, we're talking in general here. This doesn't have to be where you end up or what even works, but you got to start somewhere. We know for most people, we recommend focusing and starting by eating 3 protein and produce-based meals a day and cutting out mindless snacking. So something like, it could look like this. Breakfast, 3 eggs or 1 cup of Greek yogurt. There's your protein. Pair it with a serving of fruit.
Boom.
Right? Quick, easy. Don't even need to cook those things.
Nope.
Or you
Apple,
can have the eggs already cooked.
Banana,
Yep.
berries, something.
Bing, bang, boom, out the door. Lunch, 1 to 2 palm-sized servings of meat or fish, some veggies, and a serving of fruit. Now again, that could look different for a lot of people. You may have to meal prep that stuff. Or hey, you could actually get that stuff at Chick-fil-A. There's places. So again, super big spectrum, but the point would be you're kind of starting you're having protein and produce-based meals, right? And you have an idea of your portions. Dinner, 1 to 2 palm-sized servings of meat or fish, veggies, and 1 fist-sized serving of starch, like rice, potato, pasta, oats. You get the idea. So, and then a snack, right? Now, you'll notice we said cutting out mindless snacking. So let's have room for a mindful snack. And we recommend with this, pick anything you want, but make sure it's measured, portioned, and have 250 calories worth. So if you did want to be mindful of your other stuff, but then maybe just track one thing so it's not too overwhelming, track the calorie amount of your snack, right? And make this whatever you want. So this way, nothing is off limits. And
you're not completely deprived.
Yeah. And you could have this in between your meals, or you could have it with your meal. You could have it right after your meal. It's a little dessert. It gives you some flexibility. And that is the framework that we have found great success with people starting as a starting
Yeah.
point.
And it gives you a guide, but it leaves a lot open for personal preference, convenient things. Like you mentioned Chick-fil-A, you could get like some grilled nuggets and fruit to fill that in. So it really, there's so much variety we can fill in there for each person.
Yes.
So I dig it.
And here's the thing. You don't, again, everyone's going to be different. You don't have to overhaul everything at once,
No.
right? You could pick one of these meals. Let me try to make my breakfast look like this. Pick something to improve. Maybe even just one part of one meal.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm just going to make sure I get my protein at my breakfast.
And if you get off track from this completely, you have a day where you pig out or it's some social event, don't stress it. Don't guilt yourself. Just get back on your template the next day. At the end of the day, all this is doing is help you positioning more whole and processed foods, fiber and protein, produce and protein focus, and move you in the right directions. And you're being mindful and aware. And this is very often enough to lose those first 10 pounds.
Yep.
Now, when we talk about losing the last 10 pounds, that's where, we're going to need a different little...
Yeah, like more things matter at
episode.
that point.
But this, especially starting, can take you there, right? And it's going to be sustainable. You're fueling yourself. You're getting essential nutrients, protein, some essential fats that we need. So, and it's going to be, I lost my train of thought, but it's going to be, again, sustainable. So, because, like I said, I know what I was trying to say, and there's room for anything, right?
Yeah.
So we're not saying don't eat ice cream. We're not saying don't have pizza. We're not saying cut out this or that. There, you have room in your snack.
For anything you want.
The reality is, you can have anything you want. You probably can't have as much of it as you want.
Yeah.
So,
But it still checks that box for most people to where like I think most people are content with having that.
yep. So there's your step 3. There's your habits. Your resistance training, your walking.
Just the basics. Doesn't have to be any more than that, especially starting out. Just do those things and do them consistently and start moving the needle. And that's it.
Yep. And don't get distracted, right?
Yeah.
These seem simple. Now the key is doing these
Just
things.
do it.
Don't try to do more. Don't try to do different. Execute. With that, step 4, progress, not perfection.
That's the motto.
Don't aim to be perfect. There is no perfect.
No one will be.
You don't need to be. A lot of this, you're experimenting. Like we said, you may have to, find meals, go-to meals you like, and try recipes that fail. And, maybe you do need to grab a meal at a fast food place. So finding those go-to fast food meals, or maybe you do better prepping everything ahead of time. You got to, try and experiment and figure those things out. The point is that you're working towards awareness and portions. And if you're weighing in, you're going to see what's working, and you're going to be moving closer, right? And one thing to remember is, say you have a bad week and you don't make it to the gym. You miss your workout. Don't sweat it too much. You're only one workout away from being back on track. You don't have to think about what you missed. Just go work out.
Just do the thing.
That's all it takes. One workout, one day, back on track. Same thing with your eating. You're always one meal away from being back on track. Don't let falling off for a meal or a couple days turn into months and years. Literally, you're one meal away at any point in time. Progress, not perfection. Step 5, the hardest. Got to give it time.
Gotta give it some time. We opened with, this isn't, lose 10 pounds in a week. It's just not going to happen. It does take time. It takes time to do it right and to maintain your muscle mass and to do it safely so you have energy. So just, be patient.
Yeah. And to give you some realistic takeaways, on average, ideally, of losing pure fat, 1 to 2 pounds a week is about best case scenario.
It's great.
So that will put you at, if you're best case scenario, 2 pounds a week, you're looking at 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Losing half a pound a week is fine and great.
Yeah.
So if you're losing half a pound a week, what's that, 20 weeks?
20 weeks.
Yeah. So realistically, perfectly fine. Best case, anywhere from 5 to 20 weeks. But the other key point here is we want to lose these 10 pounds for good.
Yeah, like we're taking it off, and because of the way we did it, we're going to leave it off.
And what's 20 weeks in the grand scheme?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't want to hear that up front, but 4, 8, 12, 6, that's 5 months.
But then it's also easy to do nothing for 20 weeks and,
Yeah.
and get nowhere, or even gain weight in 20 weeks. So it's just reframing and thinking that really isn't that much.
Yep. So, yeah, you have to give it time, so even just allowing it to take time takes a lot of the pressure off and stress.
And then give yourself some grace because you are trying to make changes, and it doesn't always go to plan. It's not always perfect. And like you said, like sometimes it's figuring out food and options and structure and all of that, and that takes time to figure out too. So it's not like it has to be perfect from the get-go or ever, but it doesn't have to be completely lined up. We're just trying to improve over time.
Yep. And if you keep working at it, you will lose those 10 pounds and keep them off.
For sure.
Right? And here's the key takeaway. This time around, these 10 pounds of fat, you will feel it, right? Maybe you have lost 10 pounds before doing the crash stuff, tons of cardio, tons of restriction, and you lost those 10 pounds and really fast. I promise you did not feel great.
You usually do not
probably
feel
were
good doing that.
Super starving, low energy, there's multiple emotions that could go
Sleep
into
was
that.
probably terrible.
You do it this way, and again, it's also assuming if you're someone who's already like really lean and you try to lose, you see these bodybuilder lean, you try to get that lean, that could start to make you feel
You're going to
crappy.
start feeling garbage
But
too.
if you have some pounds to lose,
Yeah.
and you lose these first 10 pounds, you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're probably going to sleep better. You're going to move better. Like,
Things are easier.
even so, trust me, that longer time frame is well worth it, because then you'll actually feel better and be able to keep it
Yeah,
off.
because you feel better during the entire process. So it makes it easier, man. That's most people we work with. That's the takeaway. It's like, man, I feel
Yeah.
good. I have so much energy now.
Yeah.
Somebody who maybe hasn't worked out in a while, hasn't done much with their nutrition, they just overall feel good.
Yeah. Because ultimately, what's happening, what you want to happen is when you want to lose 10 pounds, we want to keep all the things that our bodies needs. We want to get good nutrition. We want to support. We want to thrive. And we're just trying to restrict energy coming in just enough so that our body has to use stored energy on our body, which is stored body fat, to make up for that difference of the energy that's not coming in. And then that's how we lose body fat over time. That's what we want to happen. We don't want to lose a bunch of stored water, because our body is made up of water, and it's that way for a reason. We have to eat, so it's normal to have food in your stomach, food in your digestive tract and system. We're like trying to lose 4 or 5 pounds of that stuff is always going to be temporary.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
at
always
some
gonna come
point,
back.
You're going to have to eat and eat daily. So that's not it's just like,
That's not real.
exactly. So we're trying to use up some of the stored energy on our body that we're wearing as body fat. The best way to do that is a slight energy deficit,
It's just a touch.
so that over time we get it off, right? And then we're at an amount where what's coming in, the energy coming in matches the energy coming out. You don't have to worry about that. That's super complex. The way you track that is your daily weigh-ins.
Yeah. Is your weight staying the same? Then
Is
you're
your-
pretty balanced.
Is your weight staying the same and within a range? Give yourself a little 4 or 5 pound range, and that's how you know I'm in energy balance. You start over time gaining beyond that range and gaining, then you know, hey, we're out of balance here.
A little
You know?
surplus.
Or you start losing more than you want, same thing.
Yep. So yeah, that just keeps giving you that insight on like what is happening. What do I need to do?
So to wrap it all up, little crisp summary. You got 5 steps. Step 1, get your mind right. Step 2, weigh in. Step 3, resistance train twice a week, walk daily, eat protein and produce meals. Step 4, progress over perfection. Step 5, be patient. Bada bing.
That's it.
So
Simple as possible. Do not complicate it beyond that.
there you go. How to lose your first 10 pounds. And hopefully you enjoyed this audio podcast version. Also, we have it in a weekly newsletter. So if you like to read, or sometimes we'll link out to stuff, make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter, which will have that in the description of the podcast, a link to that. And yeah, some of these things, lifting weights twice a week, people may need help with that. We offer some help. So if you're interested, if you already have a gym, don't live in our area of Newport News, Virginia, we have a app where we have workouts.
An online platform.
Yeah, so you'll see that as well in the show notes. Coastal Coach All Access. We also have a gym in Newport News, Virginia, a training gym. So, if that's something you're interested in, you can check that out.
Swing on by.
And then also, the hardest piece, the nutrition. We have nutrition coaching done remotely. There's a link for interest in that. So, there you go. If you can do it all on your own, that is awesome. That is great. Get in your resistance training. Take control of your eating. If you need help, those are some great resources that we can, in ways that we can help you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So hopefully you enjoyed it, got a nugget, put it into action, lose that 10 pounds, and then, hey, reach out and tell us. We'd love to hear.
Yeah. Did you put it to practice?
Yeah.
Did it work?
About
How do you
people
feel?
crushing it. There you go.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time. As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.